morning, everyone, and welcome to the first update on our February challenge. Really interested to hear how you're all getting on. I did have a bit of a blip in that, well, I had an extra challenge really, in that shortly after I'd issued the challenge to you, thrown down the gauntlet, so to speak, I had a request to do a piece of ritual this past weekend. I've been at the Spanish Lodge's installations this weekend, and the outgoing master in the Mark has had some very poor health recently, and so wondered if I would do the address to the master, which I was delighted to do, but I didn't have very long to brush it up, to learn it, more or less learn it again. So although I did spend a lot of time on it, and I recited it perfectly in the shower that morning, there really wasn't enough time to get it secure, and there was a bit of a pregnant pause as I delivered the piece. But I hope I did it with sufficient feeling to convey the message to the new master. But what that has meant is that it's left me a little bit behind in the piece that I was wanting to learn, so I might need to put an extra bit of time in this week just to catch up. I've almost got to the end of the first paragraph of 3, but I wanted to do a paragraph a week, so I'll update you next week on how I've got on with that. One thing that I was reminded of, when you're learning a piece of ritual, you know, repetition is really important in the shower, in the car, while the kettle's boiling, while you're walking up and down the garden, walking the dog, whatever, really important. But one of the things that works for me is to go over the ritual as I'm in bed and wanting to drop off to sleep. And it works for me a little bit like meditation. So, you know, you have that monkey mind sometimes, don't you, when you want to go to sleep and your brain's saying, no, listen to me, I want to talk about this, I want to think about that. But if you are going over your ritual, it kind of stops that happening, and I usually find I've dropped off to sleep well before I've got to the end of the piece that I'm wanting to learn. However, if you've done that, you've probably, like me, come across a word that you just can't remember, or a phrase you can't remember what comes next. And it's really tempting to put the light on and get your book and have a look so that you can carry on. But let me suggest to you that you don't do that. So either forget it and just skip over it, or start again from the beginning, and you might find it just pops into your head. But what tends to happen, and the brain's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Your unconscious mind keeps trawling through everything that you know while you sleep, and you'll find that in the next morning you remember that word that you couldn't remember the night before. And strangely enough, it's cemented then in your brain. Even if you don't, if you check it up just then when you wake up, check up that word that you couldn't remember, that somehow is a little bit of an anchor, and you'll never forget that word again, because, you know, your brain goes through, oh yes, I forgot that word, but I know what it is really, and there you are, you won't forget it again. So let me know in the comments how you are getting on with your February challenge. Thank you to everybody who responded. Many people put a comment, and also many people that I saw in Spain at the weekend told me that they hadn't commented, but they were definitely doing the challenge. So that's great. We're all here to help each other along, aren't we? So see how we get on this week, and I'll update you again in a week's time as how I'm getting on, and you can let us know how you're all getting on as well. Happy learning. Bye.